Hello and welcome to the Divorce to Bliss podcast. Here you will learn all things related to healing from divorce, mind, body, and spirit, so you can create a beautiful new life filled with happiness. I'm Rachel Ruby, author of Divorce to Bliss, divorce coach, speaker, and attorney, and I'm so glad you found me here. Hello and welcome to the Divorce to Bliss podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, I would love to ask you to please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share, as well as turn on notifications so that I can continue to bring you some wonderful information-packed podcasts and incredible guests. Today, I'm going to be talking about fear and how to overcome fear by taking action. And fear is one of the biggest parts of divorce, one of the biggest emotions that we go through, not only when we're thinking about divorce and we're just getting into whether or not we even are going to get divorced, but as we go through the process and as we come out of the divorce and find ourselves suddenly, no longer part of a relationship and oftentimes feeling very alone. So fear can be paralyzing and it can bring us down into a victim state. It can make us afraid, and it can wreak all kinds of havoc on not only our emotions, but on our body, our minds, and our spirit. It can even lead to illnesses, and it can lead to habits that don't serve us, like not eating right, not exercising, not getting out and being social, and, other things like drinking and drugs. So we really need to get a handle on fear so that we can learn how to heal. And if we have all this fear within us, we cannot start the healing journey. Let's kind of jump in to learning how we take action to get rid of fear. And this is just, again, this is an overview, a list of things that you can do, but each person has a different healing journey, and each person needs really individualized roadmaps. So if you are one of those people, please feel free to reach out to me. I am a divorce healing coach, and I would love to work with you to help you figure out how to overcome fear and many other parts of the healing journey so that you can get from divorce to bliss. Okay, so when we're talking about overcoming fear and taking action to do so, the first thing that is extremely important is to relax. Now, that might sound really simple and easy and a no-brainer, and hey, Rachel, you're giving me information that is pretty obvious, but I have to say, after talking to so many people who I'm helping healing from divorce and listening to their stories, most people, when they're going through this process, are not relaxed, right? So it's a stressful process, and it can be more stressful if there are children involved, or if it's a really brutal divorce where there's a lot of fighting over assets and things and who gets what, and many other reasons. Even if it's a mutual divorce and both parties had a really good marriage, but at some point in time decided that it wasn't working and decided to divorce, there's still a lot of emotion just within you, and that affects your energy. We are all made of energy, and our energy affects everything we do. It affects us from the moment we wake up until the moment we go to bed, and even affects our dreaming. It affects our health. It affects our mental state. It affects our emotions, and it affects our spirituality and our connection with ourself. So relaxation is a huge part of learning to overcome the fear. And you can do this. There are so many ways to do so, but you need to basically find some things that help you to relax. And I want you to do two things. I want you to find things that you like to do, that you enjoy, that are relaxing, like taking a walk outside, taking a yoga class. If you meditate, that's fantastic. Use that. If you want to listen to some meditation podcasts or guidance meditation videos or audio, that's great if you don't know how to do it yourself. Or you can take a bath. I mean, that's a wonderful thing to do as well, right? Anything that's relaxing, going to a movie, cooking a nice dinner with someone you care for, friend or a child, whatever it may be. But definitely beside the things that you already know that relax you, I want you to go out on a limb and find something that you haven't tried to relax yourself. And I want you to try it. And I want you to stick with it. So it can be writing in your journal with beautiful music playing and candles. It can be, if you don't normally take baths, take a bath. If you haven't tried yoga and you haven't tried meditation, or maybe there's a class, a painting class, or Tai Chi, Qigong. I mean, there's so many great things you can do to relax. So if you just go on to Google and type in, what are some great ways to relax? I want you to pick a new one, and I want you to go back to an old favorite. And I want you to try to incorporate these little bits of relaxation into your day every day. I know that sounds like a lot, and you might say, hey, Rachel, I don't have time to take a bath every day. Okay, great. But you can write in your journal. You can turn on some beautiful music and just close your eyes and envision, if you're going through a divorce, you can maybe envision something that's important to you, like where you might live, or if you're looking for a new job and going out into the job field for the first time in a while, where you might work, or you might see yourself traveling to a beautiful destination. So whatever it is, I want you to pick something you like to do and something that's new and try it every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes a day. 5 minutes on something new and 5 minutes on something tried and true. If you can do it for longer, that's great. If you can take a 20-minute bath and you love taking baths, great. Then pick something else you want to do for a few minutes and make it a part of your day. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we need to fail. We need to fail in order to get rid of fear. And failure is a big part of success. When you're going through divorce, you will encounter many failures. And most of us will tend to, at that time, because of the emotional levels and the tough times that we are going through, we will tend to see that failure as something negative. And it will just go into that collection of negative emotions and negative situations that are going on within our life. And it's kind of like, I picture this bag, like this sack of negativity. And we just are throwing all these things into the sack, right? So I want you to instead develop a different way of looking at the failures. When you fail at something, maybe you go out there and you take a yoga class and you just feel like you didn't do well at all. You didn't understand. You couldn't keep up with it. That's great. If you look at that failure as a step leading toward your new life that you are working on and creating, it will be a positive thing. So you're changing the negative to the positive. So anytime you fail at something while you are going through this experience of divorce and healing from divorce, I want you to acknowledge the failure and I want you to welcome the failure. There is a leader of a very famous women's company called Spanx. You may have heard of it. And she talked about how when she was growing up, her father would make her and her siblings sit down at the dinner table every night and say, what did you fail at today? And every night he expected them to tell him something they failed at that day. And she attributes that to her amazing success in building her company and becoming a huge, very successful, wealthy woman. So failure is your friend. Don't be afraid of failure. It's tweaking the way we look at it so that we can look at it as a new experience and keep on going. Don't throw the failures into that bag of negativity. If you need help with this, please feel free to reach out to me. I have some great ways on how to do this. The third thing that we want to work on is evolving. Evolving means changing things and growing so that we can come out of divorce and create the best and highest version of ourselves. And we do this by making little changes in our lives. Like I said, one of them is the changes we might make in relaxing more and the changes we might make in learning to see failure in a completely different light. These are all ways that we evolve and become better and higher versions of ourselves. And hopefully, like me, as you learn all these different ways to evolve through your body, mind, and spirit all three of those, you will start to feel so differently, and you will start to realize that, wow, I can really make a difference in my life here. This healing thing is working. So I'm not going to go into the details of evolving, but you can check out some of the other podcasts and just know that when you are learning to evolve, and it is a process and you have to be patient for it, but when you are learning to evolve, you have to focus on body, mind, and spirit. The fourth thing that we can focus on when we are learning how to take action to overcome our fears is redirection. And redirection simply means that when we start to feel something that isn't right, whether it's within our body, maybe we're eating poorly and we're starting to feel, stomach pains, or maybe it's within our minds and our emotions and we're starting to just feel really down, or maybe it's within our spirit and we're just feeling like we just don't have any energy to move forward today, and we're so heavy. And no matter what it is, when we're feeling any kind of emotions or any kind of feelings, or we're doing something that is not making us happy, we need to redirect that energy. And there are so many ways to redirect energy. And another thing I just want to mention is we can redirect our energy by hanging out with wonderful, positive people. So if you have friends who truly support you, and again, you have to make sure that they are the right people. And I have a whole podcast about who is the right person to support you and your support networks, and how to build them, and how to let go of those who don't truly support you, whether it's temporarily or permanently. But find someone who truly supports you and just go do something fun and crazy. Go out to a fun dinner, go paint pottery, go do an art project, go to a movie, go to their house and turn on some great music while you're cooking dinner. I mean, there's so many ways that you can redirect the loneliness you might be feeling, let's say, into something fun and creative. And again, there are so many other ways to redirect your energy. So you need to start finding ways to do that when you feel like you're in a slump, or when you catch yourself feeling lonely or sitting there doing nothing other than staring at technology. And the fifth thing to do, it kind of ties into some of the things I've already mentioned, but it is to let out your inner child. And if you don't know much about the inner child, we all have an inner child. We all have another childlike person inside us that used to be who we were. And often when we go through divorce, we lose sight of that inner child. I did. And that was a huge lesson for me. I had to let her out. In fact, she was hiding for so many years as my marriage came to an end. And the last few years of my marriage, as I was in this flux of not really understanding why I was so unhappy, that inner child really just kind of got put away, locked in the closet, hidden in the dark. And so I had to bring her out. And there's so many ways you can do this. Dancing, I already mentioned, hanging out with great friends, trying fun things, doing hobbies you like, picking new hobbies, getting out and meeting people and being around people, and not just staying by yourself. It's okay to be by yourself sometimes. It's actually wonderful, because being alone is a big part of healing. But you also need to get out there and just let your inner child out. So go roller skating, go ice skating, go running, go hiking, go do a painting class, learn a language, go travel. There's so many things you can do, but let her out. Feel that joy that it feels to be a child, and be childlike, because that is such an important part of healing. And finally, the last way to take action to overcome fear is to get help. There are many ways to get help. If you are going through divorce and you either need help starting your healing process, or you're stuck in your healing process, or maybe you did some healing work, but now you just, don't know how to get back into that, or feel like you can't. There are some great ways to get help. One of them is through traditional therapy. And if that resonates with you, you can find a traditional talk therapist to help you go through your emotions and the experience of your divorce and learn how to heal. There is also obviously coaches practice in a very different way. So that may resonate with you more or less than going to traditional talk therapy. And you can try, you can try multiple ways of getting help. But if you work with a divorce healing coach like myself, and get a program that is very tailored to you specifically, telling you how to, or teaching you how to do all of the things you need to do in order to heal, in steps that are easy to do so that you don't feel that overwhelmed. That's another great way to get help. And there are many other ways to get help. You can get help from support groups. Just have to be careful that these groups are positive and are not negative, because that again will contribute to your sack of negatives, right? And you don't want that to happen. I've mentioned many times before that it is so important to feel those negative thoughts. I definitely don't want you to ignore them. I want you to feel them, but then I want you to learn how to move forward. Even though you have those thoughts inside you, you might always have some thoughts inside you about your divorce that aren't the most positive thoughts, and that's okay. I want you to experience those and feel those. But sometimes we need to find a way to get help, because the divorce healing process is hard and you need patience. And many people say to me, why do I need to be patient? I just want to heal. I'm ready to heal. I want to heal. Let's do it. Let's go. But here's the thing. The universe tests you by making you wait, because there is no way to just heal. You can't click your ruby slippers and go home. It doesn't work that way. Healing is a process, and it involves a lot of self-discovery. So we need to really work on healing so that we can come full circle and be whole again. So I hope that these 6 ideas can help get you started on releasing your fear and taking action to get rid of it. And if you need more help, please feel free to reach out to me. Have a fantastic day and good luck in your healing journey.